Huh. Get 5 proximity mine kills. Probably should not just get close to me, because getting close to me is just suicide in the first place. Hey guys, Shaker Prepare from Broncoboy here, and I got a little work story to tell you. Now, this work story isn't necessarily bad about my job, so if like my managers or my managers of my department or like top store managers ever find this for whatever reason, it shouldn't get me fired. I mean, hell, if it does, rip and a half for me, I guess. But this job, my job in particular, I show up at about 3 a.m. with a few other people that, you know, likes these 3 a.m. shifts, who likes getting off earlier, such as myself, because I do have a sleep schedule, at least on the weekdays when I'm working, where I sleep 4 hours before work, wake up, go to work, and then come home and sleep for 4 hours. But that's not the story. I need to stop getting distracted and going on tangents with some of this shit. But moving on. So I'm there for a few hours by myself, and then the store opens at 5, along with one of the opening lead for my department and a few other people showing up around the same time. You know, and normally at 5 a.m. you get a few people showing up being like, haha, being like, yeah, we're here, we're gonna shop a little bit early and stuff, beats rushes, or it's like we're getting off our night shifts ourselves, we're stopping by shopping for a little bit before anything happens, kind of thing, or so we can go home, get everything put away, and go to sleep. But it was weird because when I got in at 5 a.m., or not when I got in, ouch, I just got naded, dumbass. I was in produce, you know, doing my job, at about 5 a.m. when I saw the opening lead and this girl, who at the time is, 17, you know, underage. And this detail's important, but I see both of them come in, you know, and then they walk to the back to get ready for them to start doing their jobs for the rest of the day. I see this guy walking around who, you know, is just a normal customer, or at the time I'm thinking is a normal customer, coming in at 5 a.m. to start his early morning shopping, which, like I said, is no problem. You can show up at whatever time as long as the store's open. It was like another 45 minutes to an hour later when I saw this man again, when I ended up getting back around to produce to finish up another trolley of mine, for my job, to keep up with my job, and I ended up seeing one of the girl who, like I said, is, and I see this man that I saw show up at 5 a.m. and like I said, this has been like an hour or so later, from when we showed up for our job. So next thing I know, I see him talking to her, and I'm just, you know, already kind of sketched out by this guy just from him being here early. I'm not sketched out by the fact he was there early. I'm sketched out by the fact that he was still there an hour later. Because unless you're sitting there ordering a lot of shit, or buying a lot of shit, not ordering, you shouldn't be there for more than, I want to say, 45 minutes. The guy was there for an hour. And after the guy kind of leaves, I clearly see that my coworker is visibly uncomfortable from the conversation they either had or what. No idea what the fuck was going on there. I get a moment and I go up and talk to her, be like, hey, what the hell, or what was the guy asking about? She just turns to me and just the guy asked if I'm into day drinking. I'm like, what? You know, day drinking, alcohol, drinking alcohol during the day, which I'm big brain. But the weirdest part about the whole day drinking thing is that not only was this guy here for so long, is that he was freaking out not only the people in our department, he was freaking out someone in produce, he freaked out a bunch of people in the deli who were there early, and then apparently he didn't touch the night crew guys, because I think he probably got kicked out a couple times from the store from just being there. Another couple hours later, it's about my time that I normally go to my lunch for, so I leave the back room, tell my manager being like, hey, I'm clocking out, going to lunch, and she's like, okay, go ahead. I go clock out, and by the time I leave the back room, I put on my earbuds, and I'm just listening to music or a podcast or something. I go clock out, and then I immediately go to the bathroom. I have a half an hour lunch, so I might as well use the bathroom first, so I'm not, like, rushing myself in the end when it comes down to it in the end of the night. Or, morning. But what's really fucking stupid about this, I go into the bathroom, and I see a cart in the big stall, and I'm like, that's a little sketchy, because, A, you're not supposed to take any merchandise, any unpaid merchandise, into this little side hallway area where the bathroom is. So, but just seeing it in the big stall like that, I go to the smaller stall, and over my podcast that I was listening to, I hear a man muffling. I hear someone muffling. The guy obviously next to me. I paused my music for a second just to hear what he's saying. Take one out, and I hear him say, "I'll find a way to get you out of here." And I was just immediately creeped out by that. I'm like, nope. Put my earbud back in, saying fuck off to that. Another coworker who showed up at like 6 or something, either went to the bathroom shortly after me or before me, and like saw him and like was freaked out about what the fuck he was talking about too. And that was the weird part, is that this guy was already in the store for 2 hours at this point, because me going to lunch at around 7:30ish, and the store opening at 5. This guy should not have been here for as long as he was, and it was already freaking a bunch of people out. After I finish up using the bathroom, of course, I go to Starbucks and stuff to get like a breakfast sandwich, because I was hungry, and Starbucks, get a breakfast sandwich, and I ask Drew, hopefully I don't get yelled at for using his name, the Starbucks lead, and be like, hey, have you seen this guy walking around the store? And he's like, yeah, like, what the hell is going on? What the hell is his problem? I've seen his car. I saw him, took it into the bathroom and stuff. I'm just like, yeah, no, the guy's been here since opening. And Drew just immediately was like, oh, shit. So, and I asked him, like, hey, have you seen, like, our main store manager, to tell her, being like, hey, there's this guy walking around the store with a cart full of shit that he's been in here since opening and probably has no intention to buy any of it. So it's gonna be like a robbery kind of thing. And he's like, yeah, she knows. I was told just to keep an eye on him, blah, blah, blah. Which is just kind of weird. Instead of her, like, calling the cops or being like, yo, what the fuck? Because this guy is clearly on some shit. You have a Growl and a Finnick combo class. What the fuck? From there, you know, I finish up my lunch and I go back to the back room. I start talking to my manager and stuff, being like, hey, this guy is still in the fucking store. Like, we need to, apparently, like, a store manager knows, blah, 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 this and that. And it's just, like, told to keep an eye on him. And that, it's just kind of, like, shitty. Like, Jesus fucking Christ, that took way too goddamn long to do. I'm talking to her, and then the girl who, like, had the run-in with him and stuff, asking about, like, day drinking and stuff, and she's, you know, being, you know, underage and stuff, it was just a little uncomfortable for her to be talking about that kind of thing. And we're kind of, like, describing the guy, like, he was older and stuff, kind of, like, hunched over a lot. He's just kind of talking to himself, like, the entire time. And I'm just, like, he was clearly on some form of drug or something. And when it came down to, my lead asked the girl, hey, do you drive this car, and, like, are you parked around, like, this spot? She says yes, and she's like, I saw the dude, like, looking around your car and stuff, like, looking in. And the worst part about this is that when the younger girl gets here, she gets here, like, probably, like, half an hour early, and then just kind of sleeps in her car until she has to wake back up and, you know, go to work. And that just right there just sketched me and her out being like, okay, nope, not fucking with us anymore. Especially because now it's about 8:30, 9 o'clock. Like good like another hour and a half later, when like I have not seen this dude since my lunch. And next thing I know, I'm just telling other people, being like, hey, like, look out for this dude. Have you seen this guy walking around? Just keep an eye on him and stuff so he doesn't do like a running situation. Granted, we have security measures put in place where if you try to put the cart past a certain point, one of the wheels will lock up and you'll just like completely eat shit. Which I've seen that happen, and I just kind of laughed. Someone was testing it. Like one of my coworkers was testing it, or just kind of went. It stopped and they went into the cart, and I just kind of laughed at him, being like, "Dumbass." I think we just ran through a teammate. The only other thing I can really say that like makes me really think even more that this man was some form of druggie, was that not only was, you know, my run-in with him in the bathroom and stuff, with him kind of screaming and bitching at, or just kind of talking to himself in the bathroom, just kind of, you know, sketchy. Apparently, he went up to someone in the deli and was just watching him from the other side of the counter, and was just kind of like, just gone. This man was mentally gone, but he was physically in the store. I knew something was really wrong with what the hell was going on, considering that he was there for probably about 5 hours. I don't know when he got kicked out or what the hell happened after everything kind of like went down on it. But it's more like in vein of, I don't want to know. Because whether it was some form of like police arrest or anything that happened after I left at 11:30, which means that guy would have been there for 6.5 hours. That's kind of the end of my story, is that there was a man at the store, which sketches anyone out whenever something like this happens, because the fact is that our store is not in a bad neighborhood whatsoever. So whenever stuff like this happens, it not only spreads throughout the entire store, it just sketches everyone out whenever someone is supposedly on some form of drug while in our store, just losing their fucking mind. And, you know, this is Colorado, so weed, you know, people are high as fuck all the time in terms of marijuana when they come into the store. Especially, you can easily tell when someone buys a shit ton of like snack munchy shit. So I mean, I guess the moral of the story is, don't be a druggie. Other than that, guys, I got nothing else to say besides the fact is that there's a crackhead around my neighborhood of my store. So, don't know what happened to him, like I said. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you guys want more of these kind of work stories. But other than that, hope you guys enjoyed. Peace.